With Legends ZA finally being released, with it comes a loved mechanic brought back from the previous Legends game, Alpha Pokemon. And today, we're gonna catch all of them. The goal is to create a full living dex of all 258 Alpha Pokemon. This includes all possible form variations like every color of the Flabébé line, and each size variation of the Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist lines. To make things more interesting, I've decided I want to catch as many of these as possible. This means I can't say catch 3 Beldum and evolve the extras into Metang and Metagross. But without further ado, let's see how long it takes me to catch every possible Alpha in Pokemon Legends ZA. Day 1 starts off pretty easy as you can imagine because there's literally just so much that we can go out and catch. So we actually start with a whole lot of easy stuff. First on the list we catch ourselves a Bellsprout, followed by a Venipede, then the Whirlipede, coming back up later to get a Bunnelby, Pidgey, Magikarp, and Pikachu. After the Pikachu, we catch our first of the Flabébé line, which is the red one from Area 3, I believe. It's here that we also grab ourselves a Litleo and a Skiddo. Not long after this, we decide to go grab ourselves a Spinarak, followed by a Binacle, and our first gender variation, a male Hippopotas. Since we're already in the area, we might as well catch this Fletchinder, and the Swirlix that's hanging out on top of this building. Next, we go and search some mounds and go ahead and catch this Drillbur, and might as well grab this Camerupt while we're here. Next on the list, we go ahead and pick up this nighttime spawn of Staryu, and we realize we actually forgot to go and catch the Fletchling from Area 3, so we go and pick that up. After that, we head over to Area 9 and go ahead and pick ourselves up the male form of Meowstic, a Carbink, a Sableye, and the Manectric that's up here. As we make our way through each of the wild areas, we go into the Canals style one and pick up ourselves a Carvanha and a Watchog. We miss out on Sharpedo, but we'll get that later. Not long after this, we pick up our first elemental monkey, a Pansage. And then a few minutes later, we go ahead and grab ourselves a Clawitzer. Now we decide to head into the snow biome and pick up the Alpha Abomasnow that's guaranteed in there, and we also happen to find a Machop at the time. So we grab that as well. After the Machop, we go ahead and pick ourselves up a Weepinbell, a Beedrill, Clefairy, followed by a Roserade, a Garbodor, and a Vanillux. There are a lot of Pokemon that we're going to be able to get out of Area 20. That's actually primarily where we're going to get most of our fully evolved Pokemon. After we get the Vanillux, we actually get our first of what's going to be 10 Furfrus, and we do gotta get them all. After Furfru, we get ourselves a Dedenne, followed by the white Flabébé and the orange Flabébé, pretty much back to back. As we continue on day 1, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Starmie, a Shuppet, a Lopunny, a Kakuna, Skrelp, Arbok, and the next Flabébé, which will be the blue one, followed by a Baneri, of course. Next, we actually go ahead and get the chance to catch Furfrus number 2, 3, and 4, followed by a Salamence, and our first of the Florges, which will be the red one. After Florges, we go ahead and pick ourselves up a Malamar, a Drampa, a Kangaskhan, and our first variation of the 2 Pyroars we need, the male. Not long after this, we pick ourselves up a Mawile, and our first fully evolved of the trio of elemental monkeys, which is Simipour. It's at this point that we jump into the Phalanx cage and just pick ourselves up a Flaffy and an Ampharos real quick. After getting out of the Phalanx cage, we actually go to the pond area and pick ourselves up a Clauncher, as well as a Stunfisk. After getting the Stunfisk, we decide to go and catch some of our ghost Pokemon we need. So we go and get ourselves a Bayonet, a Trevenant, and a Phantom. Following this, we went back into the ice area and picked ourselves up a Vanillite, a Snorunt, a Snover, and the Avalugg that's down here. And after the Avalugg, we went back and finally got that Sharpedo that we were missing. Next up on the list is another guaranteed alpha, which is Excadrill. Now this next Pokemon is actually the first one we've actually had to evolve. We're going to go ahead and catch ourselves 2 Ralts, and the second one we're going to evolve into a Kirlia, since Kirlia can't be found anywhere in the wild. There are a few of these, and it's pretty much all middle evolutions, except for the starters, which are the whole line. After we evolved the Kirlia, we actually managed to catch ourselves a Tyranitar, followed by a Vaporeon, Kadabra, the final Meowstic we needed, which is the female, then Aron, Diggersby, Alakazam, and Raichu. And we end off day 1 by resetting at the sewers in the rain to get ourselves a Goomy. Day 1 was quite a long day, but we were able to end it off at 82 out of 258 Pokemon, which is a pretty good amount of alphas to get in one day. Starting off day 2, it was still raining, so we went ahead and continued resetting in the sewers for a Sliggoo. We managed to finally get that, and then went back to Area 20 to catch ourselves a Leafeon. After this, we went ahead and go into the Eevee cage to get an Audino and our 5th Furfru. After we get the Furfru, we actually dip into one of the more unique places we get to hunt, and that's the Lysander Cafe, and here it's where we get a Doublade, a Honedge, and our Noivern. But we can't hunt down here forever, so we go back to Area 20 and pick ourselves up a Bulbasaur. This next Pokemon was a little interesting because it can only be found if it's sunny out, but we went ahead and picked ourselves up a Helioptile. Following this, we went ahead and picked ourselves up a Slowbro and a Cleffa. And I was wondering when this was going to happen. We're already in the Cleffa area. We might as well go ahead and get our first shiny, which is a shiny Furfrou. Pretty fitting since we do need 10 of these. After our luck with the Furfrou, we go ahead and pick up a Klefki and our first of the male-female Hippodons. We get the male for this one. After finally getting that, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Pichu, Houndour, Houndoom, Numel, and actually catch a Garchomp pretty easily. And with that Garchomp, we have hit our first 100 Alpha Pokemon. As we go ahead and continue, we go ahead and catch a Frostlass, a Phalanx, Flareon, Heracross, Ghastly, Haunter, Pinsir, and Pangoro. And then we started hunting for an Electrike from Area 5, but we actually managed to find a shiny Electrike before getting an Alpha one. Don't know how that managed to happen. Did I really get a shiny before I got an Alpha? And then we still didn't even get Electrike next because we got Pidgeotto. But then we got Electrike. And then the last thing we needed from up here was an Abra, so we went ahead and hunted that as well real quick. And with the Abra, we actually finished all of Zone 5. It's the first zone we have fully ended off. After finishing off Zone 5, we go ahead back to Area 20 and get ourselves a Scrafty, Machamp, and a Chandelure. Following that, we went ahead and got ourselves the last Pyroar we needed, which is the female, followed by a Scyther, Gallade, Lucario, Krokorok, Meditite, Dragonite, Talonflame, and Slowpoke. And with that Slowpoke, we end off Day 2. We're ending off Day 2 with 123 of 258 Alpha Pokemon. Not as many as we got in Day 1, but we still got a really good amount. As you can imagine, at some point we are going to hit a wall and start slowing down quite a lot. As Day 3 starts, we actually wind up getting ourselves our first Charmander, followed by a Go-Goat. After this Go-Goat, we go ahead and catch ourselves a second Swirlix, and this is going to be used to turn into Slurpuff. I'm not going to evolve it just yet because there's 5 Pokemon we need to evolve, so I'm just going to do them at the same time. We're going to need an Onix, a Slowpoke, a Slurpuff, a Spritzee, and a Scyther. After we get our second Swirlix, we go ahead and catch a Dratini, a Dragonair, and a Panpour. And that Panpour puts us at 129 of 258 Pokemon, which is exactly halfway. After hitting the halfway mark, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Hawlucha, followed by an Ivysaur and a Medicham. And what Alpha do we get next, you may ask? We don't. We actually go ahead and get ourselves a shiny Scyther, which is our third shiny of this video. After our luck with the Scyther, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Larvitar, a Riolu, and 2 different Spritzees, one of which will become an Aromatisse. Not long after that, we got our first of the Scatterbug line, which is Spupa, and I'll mention this now, there is only the one variant of Vivillon in this game, so we don't have to catch like a million different, Spupas slash Scatterbugs. Well, technically there's 2, but one of them's in a mission and can't be shiny anyway. After that, we go ahead and catch ourselves Pansear, Patrat, Ekans, and evolve to get ourselves a Vanillish. After that evolution, we go ahead and catch a Slowpoke that will turn into Slowking later, followed by a Tynamo, evolve to get an Electrike, and we actually get our first of the Beldum line, which turns out to be a Metang. And then we round off Day 3 by getting an Aegislash followed by a Gengar, leaving us at 147 of 258 Pokemon. Day 4 wound up being a little bit of a shorter day, but we wound up getting Noibat, Gardevoir, and Glaceon, which puts us at 150 Alpha Pokemon caught, followed by Lairon, Trubbish, and Badoo. After Badoo, we actually found right next to it our 4th shiny, which is a shiny Magikarp. But unfortunately, that's all we wound up getting on Day 4 because we left off at 153 Pokemon that day. Day 5 went a little better. We kick it off first by getting ourselves a Charmeleon, a Heliolisk, Jolteon, Pupitar, and Delibird. And with that Delibird, that only leaves us with 100 Alpha Pokemon left to get. After that, we go back into the cafe, pick ourselves up a Beldum, followed by our 6th and 7th Furfrou. After the dogs, we get ourselves an Ariados, a Chikorita, a Crocodile, followed by Panchim, Glalie, Emolga, and Machoke. Not long after these, we actually get our first Froakie, which was super cool, because Froakie's a pretty hard one to get because of how easy it is to flee, followed by an Absol, a Simisear, and our only Vivillon we will be needing for this challenge. That Vivillon ends off Day 5 at 172 Alpha Pokemon out of 258. Day 6 was another pretty short day because we wound up only getting Aggron, the Red Floette, our 8th Furfrou, Swablu, Victorybell, and Barbaracle. leaving us off at 178 Pokemon out of 258. And then we jump into day 7, which goes way better than the previous few days. We start off by getting the female Hippowdon, which we still needed, and our 9th and 10th Furfroos. Now, I don't change the forms yet, but that's because I thought there was 10 extra forms and 1 regular, so I go ahead and get an extra one by accident before changing them. After this, we get our first Onix, followed by Sandile, Lampent, and Scolipede. And here is where I catch that extra Furfrou and realize I don't actually need it, so we go ahead and change all our Furfrou forms now. After a few haircuts, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Mareep, followed by a Weedle and a Scatterbug. It's at this point we're kind of starting to go area to area, getting all the extra stuff we need. After the Scatterbug, we go ahead and catch our second Scyther, which will be for Scizor later, followed by Esper, Roselia, and the female Hippopotas. That ends off the entire male-female Hippopotas line for us, finally. After finishing that off, we go ahead and catch a Bergmite, evolve a Venusaur, evolve a Bayleaf, and then catch a Metagross, which was terrible. I probably failed like a good 30 Metagross by now already. After that pseudo-legend, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Clefable, an Inkay, a Litwick, and an Altaria. And with that Altaria, we officially hit 200 Alpha Pokemon. Not long after that, we go ahead and get ourselves a Dragalge and a Simisage, which actually fills up our first full box Pokemon in the PCs. A pretty cool sight to see. Following filling the box, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Gibble, the Blue Florges, evolve a Frogadier, catch a Sylveon, a Bagon, and an Electros finally. With the Electros, that only leaves 50 Alpha Pokemon left for us to find. And of those 50, we're going to start by evolving a Shelgon, evolving a Greninja, and catching a Gyarados. And then of course, after Gyarados, we go ahead and find our 5th shiny Pokemon, which is a shiny Metachan actually. And then to round off this big day, we go ahead and hunt for Skarmory, and we finally catch one of those. We end off day 7 at 212 of 258 Alpha Pokemon. It's starting this second week, where things start to get a little more crazy, especially on the shiny side of things. The first thing we do on day 8 is catch ourselves a Gabite, but then we find ourselves our 6th shiny, which is a Fletchling on a lamppost. Oh. Which took forever to find because I couldn't actually, find where it was until I saw it on the lamppost, after 10 minutes of looking for it. Following the Fletchling, we go ahead and catch a Pidgeot, evolve a Meganium, catch a Goodra, and catch our first Chespin. And then we get our 7th shiny, which is a shiny Bagon. My reaction to this was, had a little bit of disappointment, I would say. Because unfortunately, I heard a shiny. Those were shiny sparkles. What is it? Oh, it's a Bagon. Okay, that's a lot less exciting. I thought it was the Fennekin above me. After that Bagon, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Scraggy, a Quilladin, and catch our Onix that we will need for Steelix. Now that we have all 5 of the Pokemon that we need to evolve using items, we're going to go ahead and do that now. It's after this we actually had to go and buy more Premier Balls as well because I've already used almost 1,000. After buying more Premier Balls, we go ahead and finally catch our first Eevee, followed by getting our Chestnut and an Espeon. And we decide to end off day 8 by trying to finally get all of the fossils. We first get Aerodactyl, followed by Tyrunt, Tyrantrum, Amara, and Aurorus, ending off day 8 at 228 Pokemon of 258. Now day 9 was a pretty interesting day. We start off with an Umbreon, and then we have our first talk about Pumpkaboo. We realize that even though they all say XL, there are still all 4 size variations, so it's here we decide to start hunting the Pumpkaboo, but I'm not going to show you every one of them. It's too difficult to do because you actually have to have one in your party and compare the size, in-game before catching it. It's terrible. So I'll go ahead and catch all of those, and I'll just show you guys the last one and then evolve it. After this, we go ahead and catch ourselves a Tepig and a Squirtle, and while trying to reset area to get a White Flower Florges, we actually get ourselves a shiny Phalanx. This shiny is shiny number 8. After the Phalanx, we decide to go back to Area 20 and pick ourselves up the final Charmander we need to get ourselves a Charizard real quick. But before going back to resetting for our Florges, I decided to go and check Area 5 to see if I had gotten any other shinies because I had been resetting for quite a while by this point. And we did! We wind up getting our 9th and 10th shiny, which is Pidgeotto and Venipede. Then we end off day 9 by going into Area 20 and getting ourselves another Tepig for a Pig Knight, ending off day 9 at 233 of 258 alphas. Day 10 turned out to be about the longest day we've had in a while, starting out by getting a Totodile from Area 20, and getting our 11th shiny, which is a Froakie. Somehow we got a Froakie shiny before we could catch a White Flower Flabebe Alpha. Florges Alpha, sorry. After getting that shiny, we decided to go ahead and finish off the Pumpkaboo line, and the last one we got was the small one. After getting the small Alpha Pumpkaboo, we decided to go ahead and evolve every single one of them. Like I said, I'm only going to show you guys this one, but you can see in the boxes I do have all of them. They're all different sizes. It was just a horrible nightmare to try and do. After evolving our Pumpkaboo, we actually got our 12th and 13th shiny, which are Flaffy, followed by a Dragalge. I only found these about 10 minutes apart, which is pretty quick, but oddly enough will not be our quickest 2 shinies we get in this video. After those shinies, we go ahead and get ourselves a Croconaw, an Emboar, and then go ahead and reset for the Fennekin line, and we just go ahead and get all of them. We get Fennekin, followed by Braixen, and Delphox. After Delphox, we go ahead and get a Feraligatr, and with Feraligatr, that only leaves us 10 Alpha Pokemon left to get in this game. So we go ahead and start off by getting ourselves a Wartortle and then a Blastoise, which is the final Pokemon that is not a form of another Pokemon. In fact, everything we have left are all Flabebe line forms. But I decided to continue resetting to get a White Flower Florges, and I got a shiny Alpha Ampharos, my 14th shiny. Mind you, I have now gotten one of every single spawn except for the nighttime ones before I can catch a White Flower Florges. I don't even know how that's possible. But with getting that Alpha, I thought it'd be a good time to go and check Area 5 again to see if I have any more shinies, and sure enough, we have our 15th and 16th shiny, which is an Alpha Bellsprout and a Bunnelby. After we get all those shinies, we decide to take a break from the White Flower Florges and just go get a bunch of Flabebes to evolve into Floettes. So we start off getting the blue Floette, followed by the white Floette, a yellow Flabebe, which we still needed, and then evolve to get an orange Florges and a yellow Florges, which will go ahead and end off day 10, leaving us at 255 of 258 alphas. Coming into day 11, which will be our final day for this video, we go ahead and get ourselves a yellow Floette and an orange Floette, which pretty much finishes off that line except for the white Florges that we have been resetting for days. But can we get it? No, we actually go ahead and reset and get a shiny Flaffy, our 17th shiny. But just when you thought I couldn't get any more shinies, 3 minutes later, I get myself a shiny Medicham. Are you kidding? Our 18th shiny Pokemon, before getting a White Florges. But in the end, it finally happened, and we did get our White Flower Florges, giving us 258 out of 258 alphas. After catching this, I did go into Area 5 to see if I had any more shiny Pokemon, just to make sure I'm not leaving anything behind. And sure enough, I got the exact same Bellsprout spawn, only this time it was not an alpha, which leaves us with 19 shinies in this video. But there you have it. That is all 258 alpha Pokemon catchable in the game. This challenge took just under 49 hours and took exactly 1,085 Premier Balls. I do plan on doing this challenge again at some point, probably with shiny Pokemon. I might stream that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And let me know how your guys' alpha living dexes are going down in the comments below as well. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next video.